everyone, it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. All right, so I have been away from my desk. It has been a busy April. I've had craft shows. Of course, we have Easter celebration. We do a lot at church. I'm on the praise team. Just busy. But now I'm able to get back in here, and I want to show you Amanda's new kit. Well, I'm actually going to link her stuff in the description box, her YouTube, her Facebook, her Ko-fi. So if you are a member, she does a monthly journaling joy, plus extras. You get a lot more, but you get a journaling joy. She started it in 2024. This is April 2025, and this one is called Country Gingham. So that's what I'm getting started on. So she goes through all the pages. Go check her video out. And you might want to hop over to her Facebook page because she's been giving mixed media. They've been doing mixed media. And she gives freebies out. She's like on week 15. I just couldn't do it because I was so busy with other things. But, and they're doing mixed media over there. And you might want to join in on that fun. But anyhow, let's get moving on with this. So I have picked out my pages. This is going to be my first page of the inside of my book. I'm going to do 2 signatures. So I have gone through and picked out what I wanted for fronts and backs. So I'll just flip through them real quick. So I have 2. Aren't they cute? 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 sheets for my signatures. And then this is going to be signature number 1, and then this is going to be my signature number 2. So this one I thought was cool because I'm like, oh, Mom is looking, like the daughter's playing, little girl's playing, and Mom's like picking flowers, you know. I don't know where the little girl's at, but in my story, Mom is like looking out over wherever her daughter's playing. I don't know. But when I close it up, see, she'll end up on the back. So I thought that was cute. Anyway, beautiful colors. I just love this one. I love the pastels. I love the gingham. I'm a big gingham fan. So Country Gingham, I think I said that in the beginning. And then look at all the friends are out there playing in the flower field. And there's that one, and then that one, and then that one. So there's going to be lots of writing in this journal. And I'm going to quickly show you the fussy cuts. So I'm going to do these, like here's the tags and a few little sayings at the bottom. And I've already backed them with the coffee dyed paper. So they got the nice lines around them, so you'll be able to use your scan and cut if you have one. But it also just makes it easier for fussy cutting too when the lines are around. I don't know what it is about it, but for me, I don't like to fussy cut, but it does make it easier when there's lines around them. And these are mirrored image, so you can back them. I believe these are mirrored images, as I think these are. Maybe not. Yeah, I think these are mirrored images. And there's that. And then I printed off an extra of the yellowish type of gingham because I think I want to make tags. I'm going to make some tags out of this. I may do more, but we'll see. So here is another thought here that I had. I'm looking towards doing this as my cover. And I found this. Well, I didn't find it. It was at the church. Like I said, sometimes the ladies, we have fabric, and I'll be like, can I look through the fabric? And I need something for a book. And so I got this the other day. And the only thing after I got it, I'm like, this is really thin. And to glue it is going to be, number 1, you would see through. And number 2, you're going to see the glue, not just the pattern. So here's my idea. We'll see if it works, and I will go through this process. I'm going to take white cardstock. I'm going to cut to exactly this width and this width for, I think, the front, the back. I may do the insides. I haven't decided yet. And then what I'll have to do to kind of alleviate the problem of seeing through it is I thought I'm going to try the technique where I've used the Mod Podge, and you Mod Podge it on there, you let it dry, then you glue this onto the fabric. So I'm going to try and see what that looks like. If it works out, then what I'll do, because it'll be cut down to size, then I will just glue it onto the front as my front. I'll ink up all the edges, but it'll be the exact size of this. So anyway, there's that thought. I also have this one, and I'm toying with the idea, although I'd have to make it another one because I don't think my spine would be big enough, of doing some sort of a closure like this. But also what popped into my head was last year's Journaling Joy, which would have been March. This is how I did this one. And I kind of liked this closure. And I thought, you know, I think I would like to replicate that. So when the book is completely done, it has this cutesy little closure on the front. So yeah, all of these are in Amanda's Ko-fi shop too. Although this year I'm not putting, I don't think she's even offering the monthlies and stuff, because all the journals I make this year are going to be sold. Okay, so there's my vision. I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff prepped and ready to go, inked and cut out, and then I will come back and we will go through this process. So I'll be back. Okay. I have put my layer of Mod Podge on. I didn't put it super thick. I just put it enough so it covered every inch of the paper. And that was my little heat press that I had gotten from Walmart. That's all ready to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my fabric and I'm going to lay it down just so I have some hanging over each side, because I came up with another thought as I was doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and get that where I want it. And I'm just trying to line, you probably can't see it, but I'm trying to line the white with the gingham so that it's somewhat straight. And then I'm going to get my parchment paper. Now, because there's glue on the white part, and there's, you know, we're putting this fabric on top, you want to make sure that you have your parchment paper, because once this glue reactivates, it's going to get sticky. So now I've done this before. If you've watched my channel, I love this process. I actually did something similar on my recipe keepers book. And, ooh, let's see, get off there. And, yeah, I just love this process. It's great for napkins too. You don't have to go through all the pain and the slop. You just reactivate that glue. Okay, looks like it's all right. Let me get this where I can. And I'm just literally sliding it over pretty lightly to start, but then I'll start to really kind of work in these edges and make sure everything is glued down and its wrinkles are coming out of it, so that's good. And let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, so I might have to go over it just a little bit more, but you can see it's gluing on there. Okay, and that's gonna come out nice. So now when I put it on the book, it's gonna, you're not gonna see all the lines and you're not gonna see glue. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually I'm gonna be getting 4 panels done, and you'll see that the next time I come back. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. So I have covered the inside with just a piece of lightweight copy paper just to hide the lines as I'm putting this on. So I did that, and then we still have the outside, but this is how I did this, because I'm going to put a spine over top of this, as well as there's going to be a spine in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll put a spine, and then I may do my signatures and then cover this so they'll be hidden. My strings will be hidden. But anyway, this is how I did this. So basically, I came up with this solution to getting these panels on. One more thing I wanted to say too is the Mod Podge didn't work very well, but I ended up going back in with my Scotch glue stick, and that seemed to work a lot better. So I'm not gonna go in deep this way because I want it to come up over the top, but I'm just gonna sort of, you know, maybe go in, but go up like this, because I want to get this over, but this is gonna have to come down too. So I didn't do that very well. Let's just try it again. Okay, so I did that, and then what I did was I just took my Scotch glue stick, and I'm just doing the one side, that's it. And I'm just being very generous with my glue. And then I folded this in, and I didn't tug too hard because it's just that kind of material that, you know, it'll just go all wonky if you tug too hard. So I just did that and got that one side glued in. Then I took this, and I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac. And I'm only using the Fabri-Tac. I would normally use the art glitter, but this is gonna move a little bit for me. It's gonna give me a little bit of time to get this positioned where I want it. So I'm just gonna get the edges real good. And I'm not going onto the fabric. That's not the goal here right now, is to get the fabric turned over. That's coming after. Just something different. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has done it this way. I wanted to do something different. You know, I always seem to do the same thing over and over. And I'm like, you know, I just want to spice this up a little bit. I don't know, try something new. So what I did was I lined, let me get in shot here. I lined this up. And then before I press down real hard, I'm just going to make it sure it's all lined up front to back. Okay. And then pressed it down. Now remember, this doesn't matter because there's going to be a spine that comes out over top of it. So make sure it didn't shift on me. And it did not. So get that down real good. Looks like it's shifted just a little bit here, but I think that's going to be okay. All right, so we're going to do that. And then I went ahead and mitered my corners. I just did it freehand. I didn't use my little tool this time. Okay, and then I did this first, and same thing as I took my Scotch glue, and I want to make sure I get these corners, and I don't care if I get it on the material a little bit. In fact, I want a little bit on these corners. Then folded this in, and while I'm folded in here, I'm really going to push this into that corner. Okay, same on this side. I really want to get that little edge into that corner. That's why I didn't care if there was some extra glue. And then I just straightened it out if I needed to straighten it out, which looks like it's got to come back that way just a little bit more. Okay, get that straightened out. Whoop. Okay, and then I took this again and just put my Scotch glue, and then I'm going to hold that little corner. And for me, it doesn't have to be perfect because it will get little corner plates. What do you call them? Corners? Book corners. I'll have book corners on there. And then same thing to the other side. Okay, so I got that's tucked in there. Get that all spread out. Okay, so then that my mindset was, what I'm going to do is I will put in my pages. Like, I might take one of the actual pages and then cut that down and then put my panels in, and that will come after I do the spine, and then I'll do just a wraparound spine here. So I think I may make my spine come out and over this way a little bit, since I will have a spine that comes up to the top to cover that. But anyway, that's sort of where I'm at. So hopefully this will work out, because I don't want to have to redo it. But anyway, I'll be back when I get all of that done. Okay, so I have both of my panels on, and then as my brain is still working, I wanted to do something else. So this is a little bit flimsy. I wanted to make this stronger. So I took the rest of the material and then I just covered 2 pieces of like a lightweight chipboard. And just to strengthen this up a little bit, I'm gonna glue these panels in here. Okay, and then I thought what would be cool too is I might want to use some lace throughout the book. So I thought what I might do before I glue the panels is glue the lace down either to the panel or here before I glue it in. So there'll be lace sticking out of either side. And then I have some pink and some peach that I may add to the pages. But once I get these panels in here, what I'll do is I printed out this that comes with the kit, the birdhouses. I'm going to ink everything up as well, because I do like to ink. And then I'll place these in here. And then I have this little piece left that has the fray at the top. So I left just enough to have a little bit of fray at the top. And then I'm going to fray the bottom a little bit. I'm going to glue down the center, but I think I may put another little piece in here to strengthen this spine up a little bit. But however, I am going to glue down the center. And then before I glue these edges, I'm going to fray this up a little bit. Then once that's done, I have a panel that I already have done. I don't know if I will stick with this one or I will go with another one, but everything will lay flat, and then this panel will cover after I get my signatures in. I really wanted to do a fold in here, but I didn't cut it long enough, so I may do another one just to give it a little bit of a thicker edge, or I may end up putting lace over top or in here as well. I could do lace, and then I could do some beads as well. So I have some options. That's where I'm at with that. When I come back, I will have this completely ready to show you, and then I'm going to start on the signatures. Okay, I have everything put on. So I've picked this out for my top. I just used the other side of this page for the back. I did end up making my spine a little bit bigger so that I could sort of, you know, flip them over 1/4 inch so I could make it a little bit thicker. I did put the lace in between the 2 layers of the cardboard, so that came out nice. And I do have my signatures already in. I have used Smoky Slate, one of my favorites, for inking around the edges. Yeah, everything came out nice, and this is gonna continue to fray a little bit, which I'm okay with. That's what I wanted it to do. So I'm not worried about that. But I do have 2 signatures, and then I'm going to get working on them with pockets. But I have to show you something I did in my second signature. So always remember, before you sew your signatures in, make sure your papers are all going the right way. Yeah, I did it. But my signatures are in so nice. I'm like, I'm not going to remove that. We'll fix that. And yeah, so I'm going to get going on the signatures, and I will be back. Okay. After a lot of time, I have finally finished this. This was a bit of a struggle. It was not because of the paper. Paper's beautiful. It was just because of my time constraints. April was super, super busy, had a lot going on, and I just couldn't get back to it. So this is why we are going to see April's journaling joy in May. But I think I've heard from other creators, they're just struggling with time now too. So I'm not going to feel bad about it. But this is how it came out. So this actually is better than I thought it would be. So I made it a little bit thicker and how I did that. But I went ahead and put the papers on, and then I did another spine to make it a little bit wider. And then what I did was, for the closure, was I just did a little knot here. Now this can be taken out, but I just did a little knot on each side. I matched up the paper, and I made this really thick, but it's glued from here to about here, and that is just in case somebody wanted to change a ribbon out and they wanted to put something different. Also, once I put the knot in them, I mean, it's okay, you can still use it, but it kind of bugged me, so I may end up undoing the knot and then maybe taking it from underneath and stitching, do a little hand stitching to make this lay flat. And I may leave it the same. I don't think it's horrible. So I did the same thing on the back. So I just matched up the paper, and then of course this can still come out. All right, so I had lace. I did lace just on the inside of the front and the back cover. So when you open this up, we have a 2 signature. This is a pocket, although I have nothing in there yet. It is a pocket. I just needed to kind of move on because this one has taken me a really long time. So I may go back and put a few little touches, but not many, because I don't like to walk away from it and not have it mostly completed. I don't mind going back for a couple things, like maybe little sayings or, you know, add a tag or whatever, but anyway, so I did use one of the fussy cuts. This is just some paper I had left over, and then I just made a little border to make that a pocket. I did match up the pictures to the pockets throughout the book, so I won't pull everything out. And then I just filled it with ephemera that I have, little journaling spots that I have. And then this is going to be just full journaling. And here I've matched up the pockets, and then I just took more of the yellow paper and I ran it back through for the backing, and then I just used more of the ephemera that came with it. And this one says, "No rain, no flowers." So I thought that was kind of cute. And then you can do journaling on the back. That was fun. And then here again, writing, and just used the tag from the kit. Also found just a piece that I had this in my stash, so I threw that in there. Pocket. And this one I really like, because this one I of course made the little topper here, but then there's several pages that you can journal on, but then you stuff that right down in that little ephemera that's only glued down here, and then that tucks that right back in. Another pocket with more ephemera. Throughout, you'll see these. I took the papers that look like this. They were bordered in the pink, red, or pink, blue, yellow, and I think there was another one. I just put them 4 to a page so I could make journaling tags. And then if I had some leftovers of anything that I cut out, I just ended up making a tag. Here I have 2 pockets. Again, I've matched up. If everything is out, I've matched up. I've just covered the back with some backing paper that I keep in stock. And then this is a die cut, so I just mirrored each side, and then I went in and I made some, or I had extra paper, so I made these tags, and then I just put a cute little dragonfly here, and then a butterfly here, and used more of the ephemera, so there's lots of writing space there. And then I just took extra of the whatever I had left over, and I have a tag ticket die cut. So I just die cut some of the images and then made those little tickets, little tags. These were in my stash, so as I was looking for things, I'm like, that's perfect. And this came from, this was not part of the kit. It was from, gosh, I don't remember the name of the kit now. Shabby something, I think. But anyway, might have been Shabby Rose. Anyhow, I had some in my stash. I try to look through my stash first before I go printing tons of paper. So again, here's one of those little cards. And then I made this one. Again, I had more paper and I didn't do a whole lot. I literally just put a whale tail for the little tab and then put a little blingy in there. This one is just glued. I just glued this and then put the butterfly on there. Again, I made another pocket, and then this I just did, I did some of these 5x7, 2 to a page 5x7, and then that way I could just cut them down and make a few extra little tags with them. And then we have the belly band. So again, I had extra paper, made a tag, used the ephemera to decorate the belly band. Another pocket. Now with this one, this is just another tag that I just added the top to, but this one opens up. So I ran the pink through, then I ran it through again for the backing, and then I had, I guess it doesn't matter which way, then I had this in my stash, so I just made that a little pocket. And then I've put little sayings throughout. This one's just on the side. Again, I just added one of the bows. Just a little ephemera here, writing page, another pocket. Now this one is, again, that's that other half of that 5x7 that I cut into a tag. And then this is the little pockets that I like to make, and each one of these come out and you can journal on the back of those. This one is for writing, and then this one, I've done this before in other books, but I really like this too. So if you pull this up, you have all this writing, all that writing spot, and then you just tuck it back in there. It goes, I promise. There we go. And then you have your little picture on the front. Okay, so over here, again, I just did another pocket, added the little saying here, went through my paper, added the banner up here, and then again, I had ran some of this paper, and then I just made my own, I made the tags. So I just got into my stash. This was from Amanda. I think it was a freebie that she gave us, so it might be in her file section somewhere. But I usually have it on hand because I like to rip and tear when I'm making tags, because it just works out perfectly. And let's see, here I used another die cut, and I mirrored again this page, and then these came from the actual digital kit. I again took parts of things that were left over and made some tags, and then I had these left over, so I thought, okay, that's going to become a little tag. And then I made some tickets out of more of my leftovers, trying to use my stuff up. And then this was again one of those ones that I had printed 4 to a page, so I've got a little journaling spot here. I used the whale tail. Now, here is, if you remember, well, I had to remember because it's been a while since I started this video. It's taken a while. If you remember back at the beginning, she was upside down. I literally just printed another page and inked it up and glued it on there. And you would not even know. If you did not know I made the mistake to begin with, you wouldn't even know. You would just think it was supposed to have been that way. Okay, now you know though, so don't tell. Shh. Okay, here's another tag again. I had some leftovers, so I'm like, okay, let's just make a tag. I had a little leftover here. Used more of that paper and made another tag. Now this one I really love. This one is all the way down. It's these pockets. This one I might have to come back to. Again, I made another little tag here using the same method. And then I had this little ephemera piece left. But one thing that you're not going to see, or I should say maybe not realize, is that each one of these, you can put something in. So I might have to go back and finish this one so I can put some tags in there. And apparently this one I can't get all the way through. I probably glued it too much, so I'll just make them all so that they only go so far. Let's see if this one does. Yeah, see, that one goes. I probably just put too much glue up in here, or it got stuck. And then another thing with this one that you might not know, which I can take some of them little tickets, is I can go on either side of these and put the tickets in. So this could be a whole lot of journaling space, lots. So like I said, I'm pretty much finished, but there are a few touches I may end up going back to do. All right, so then we have that. And then I made a double belly band here. Again, I took some of that Shabby Rose, I think it was called, and just laid some paper on it, put a bow, and now we have a nice writing spot with the pink paper also for writing. And then at the end of the back of the journal, this is actually a picture frame that you can slip a picture in. And I usually I have a little stamp that says photo here, and it has a little arrow, and a lot of times I'll put those in there so that they understand, you know, they don't have to go through this way. They do have an opening. And then here was the only thing I just finished quick last night, and I'm going to put a couple little gems there, I think. And then I left Mom there too, or Auntie, you never know, Grandma, who knows. Left her alone. And yeah, the only other thing I think I might do, because the front's looking a little plain, so it would be great to get your opinion if you want to put it in the comments what you would do. But I have this little, oh, what do they call them? I don't remember. I had the name in my head earlier. Now I don't remember. Anyway, and I thought, well, maybe that would look cute there. Or I have this one, which I kind of lean toward that one, but I do have this one. So I could put that one on too. But I didn't think it would look good top and bottom, because I don't want to cover up the jar. So I didn't want it, because I have two of them, but you know, there's more projects coming. But I did not really want to cover up this, and I kind of like it this way better, almost like that banner style. So yeah, I don't know, what do you think? Let me know. Anyhow, thanks for watching, joining in. I'm sure I will be back with a new project at some point. Schedule's still pretty tight, got a lot going on, so not sure how much I'm going to get in my craft room. Summer's coming and I want to be outside. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.